Lakes are one of the most critical reservoirs of water that we have in the global water cycle. Lakes are particularly important because they're sentinels of climate change. When we see lakes changing, we know that it's not just the lake that's changing, it's actually the whole environment around the lake. There are a bunch of methods that we use to observe big lakes, but we understand a lot less about the hydrology of small lakes. And that means that the vast, vast majority of lakes, we have no idea what's happening with them, and that's a problem. The whole idea behind lake observations from citizen scientists and satellites, or LOCSS, is that if we combine the strengths of citizen scientists and satellites, that we can really learn about how our lakes work all around the world.
We buy a simple lake gauge that costs less than $50, and we find some way to install it in a lake. The gauge looks like just a ruler, and so a person can walk up to it and see where the water level is, and they can monitor how the water levels rise or lower over time.
We have people on the ground who can come out and send us a really simple message over text that tells us how things are changing. And if enough people are doing this over time, we can get a really good picture of what's happening in that lake.
Sometimes I'll just come down to this pier here and just cast a few times and see if you can catch something. And one day I noticed that gauge out there, right? It's like, what's that say? Okay, UNC, NASA, that kind of got exciting. I just grab my binoculars, I look at it, send it in.
As soon as you've sent a text message, the first thing that happens is we get that data, we say, okay, they've sent in data for this particular lake, and then we send you back a text message that says, thank you very much, here was the last reading and when it was collected. So you get feedback right away.
I'm a pretty regular participant, so I try to come by here every now and then go online and look at the graphs and see the lake levels.
We've done comparisons against our really good automated methods, and on average, people get the water level right to well better than an inch. It turns out that people can do this really well without training at all. And so we've really focused instead on just expanding our network. And now we have gauges in more than 70 lakes around the world.
Jones Lake and Salters Lake here at the park are natural lakes. They're Carolina Bay lakes, so they're very unique. There is a gauge here at Jones Lake, and there's also a gauge at Salters Lake. I check it a lot. The rangers that work here check it a lot, and actually try to check it on the days that the satellite is coming over. With the satellite information, we know the water storage in the lakes, and having that information over a long period of time, we can see trends, we can see what's going on with the hydrology in the area, and that's a good part in knowing how to better manage this park into the future.
We were always interested in utilizing citizen science and satellites for Bangladesh because we historically have never really known how much water was getting stored, which is a very critical piece of information for the government of Bangladesh. So we decided we're going to install the LOCSS gauges so that for the first time we are able to tell ourselves how much is the volume of water that goes through that region, how much gets stored, which is now driving a lot of decisions in the near future for the Bangladesh government.
We are preparing for the launch of the Surface Water and Ocean Topography satellite.
This new satellite, the Surface Water and Ocean Topography, or SWOT mission, for the first time it's going to measure the water levels in all the lakes worldwide from space.
It's going to be really exciting to have a great network on the ground who can go out and take regular measurements at their lake, and we can pair that with the data coming in and be able to see how accurate it is.
I think I'm just curious. You know, I use the lake for my own personal use. I think it's the unknown part, right? We don't know what we don't know. That's probably what gets me into action.
We are just thrilled to be able to provide a small but significant amount of data into a collaborative effort that extends internationally.